Hey guys, how's it going? Yet another week of this. I'm gonna try and keep this one short because I'm not feeling too great this week. I don't know what's wrong. At first, I thought I had like bronchitis or something, but now it's like a sore throat and a cough. So I'm, not 100% sure what's wrong. Luckily, not a whole lot happened this week, so it'll make it easy to keep things short. Like Monday, there was nothing. Like on the weekend I was in Niagara Falls, like I had said the last video or two. Tuesday we got back like our essays for communications class, and he asked me to hand mine in for him to use as an example of good writing. And I thought it was kind of funny because he made like this big deal about how he can tell who handed in a first draft and who didn't, and if you handed in a first draft you obviously weren't going to get as good of a mark, yet I still got like an 85% on it. So in other words, it would have been pretty fucking awesome if I had actually gotten someone to edit it. So hopefully for the next one that's due on like Thursday or something, I can find someone, but it might be a little difficult since it's already the long weekend and I want to have it done by the end of the long weekend. And then also on Tuesday we had my second physics lab, and so like we handed in her first one and we found out that the rubric she posted online wasn't actually what she wanted us to do. So like it pissed a lot of people off. I didn't really follow that format anyway. I followed the format that the Trent physics labs wanted, just because I thought it was a bit more organized than the way Mohawk's requesting them. So like for the lab, all we had to do is we put weights on a string that was on a pulley, attached to another pulley, attach the other end of the string to like a toy car. You can put weights in the car, you attach like a piece of tape to the back of the car, put it through like a sparker, kind of like the ticker tape that people probably did like in high school if they took physics. And all we had to do is we were essentially calculating the acceleration of the car. I believe that's what we're calculating. I never actually read the lab to know what we were supposed to be doing, but I'm pretty sure it's the acceleration of the car that we're calculating. So like we did that, measured it all out. My group was working as a group still, and then she comes over, she's like, no, you can't work as a group because if one person does it wrong, you all do it wrong. So we were just like, whatever, we're just gonna all do it on our own and then confirm, be like, is this what you did? So then like she comes around and she's like, how are you calculating your displacement? So we told her, we measured the space between each of the lines we had to draw. That's our displacement for each interval. She's like, okay, how are you calculating your velocity? I'm like, well, we have our delta, our change in displacement. You gave us the change in time. There's our change in velocity. She's like, okay, how do you calculate your acceleration? And I was the second person in the class she asked, and at first I didn't even hear what she said. So she asked like the guy who was beside me, and then I was like, wait, you asked me to calculate the acceleration? So I explained to her. I'm like, well, you have your x2, your x1, you subtract the x1 from the x2, divide that by your 0.05 seconds, and you have your acceleration. She's like, oh my god, you're the first person who's gotten that in 2 weeks. So she gave me a bonus mark. And I guess there was like one or two other people that got it as well. So this is the first time in like 2 weeks that people have actually known what they're doing. It's kind of a bad sign for Mohawk when something like that happens. I'm thinking we should know like before the lab what the hell we're actually doing. And then like, so that was pretty much the end of Tuesday. Like I didn't really do a whole lot. Probably the highlight of my week came Tuesday. But for anyone who wants to know that, you're gonna have to message me because yeah. And then on like Wednesday, I didn't really do a whole lot. I wasn't feeling too great. Like on the way to school, it felt like my ears were gonna like actually explode. I don't think it was a headache, but it was like a really weird feeling, and it was uncomfortable. And then that's really when my throat started to hurt. So I didn't really do a whole lot. I went to my classes. I hung out with like Alyssa for like 10 minutes or something in between the two classes. So yeah, like nothing really happened. We had like a talk about our co-op. So I have the co-op sheet in my backpack. I have till like November 5th to fill it out. I'm probably going to be doing that this upcoming week, just because I have no clue where I actually have to go hand it in. So then like Thursday, I didn't want to go to my 8 a.m. class, but I still sucked it up. I went, even though I was like feeling like shit. Then I like went my other classes, did whatnot, actually handed in like the paper to the communications prof, and he's like, the reason you got an 85, you got 5s out of 6 instead of 6s out of 6, is you weren't concise. Because like he said that I wrote my essay too long. I wrote a 1,300 word essay. For those of you that don't know, the topic ended up being my bedroom. I did not write it about the shower like some people had requested. So it was like a 1,300 word essay about why my room is the place in my house that I like to hang out the most. And I felt like a 1,300 word essay is really short, seeing as how like at Trent they would either be like, if they gave you a word limit, it was like 2,500 words. If they gave you a page limit, they were like 15 pages, which ends up being something like 400 words, I think, or 4,000 words. So like it was a lot shorter than I'm used to, and him to say that it was too long, I was like, okay, I don't see how, but whatever, I'll go with that. So like he took that. Then like after my physics lecture, I ended up hanging out with a couple of the people from physics. And the original plan was we were going to sit and study for the test we had, and then that kind of fell apart. We ended up just like shooting the shit for like 2 hours. We had like got our test. I felt pretty confident. I don't know how they felt. Like I don't know like if they really have any type of background in this stuff or not. So and like today, like I said to myself last night, I'm not going to school tomorrow if I feel like shit in the morning. Felt like shit in the morning. Kept telling myself, oh, I'm not going to school. I'm not going to school. Get on the bus. I'm like, oh, I really don't want to go to school. Don't want to go to school. Get to my first lecture. The prof shows up and is like, I'm not feeling good, so I'm canceling your lecture. So I was like, well, that's really fucking stupid. I mean, I don't see why you didn't tell us like ahead of time. Because she said she wasn't feeling good yesterday either, apparently. So she should have known ahead of time. So like that got canceled. And like I'm sitting with like the people that I was hanging out with on the Thursday, and they're like, oh, you understand physics, can you help us? I'm thinking to myself, I fucking hate physics. I don't want to help you guys. Whatever, I'll try and explain it. So like after our chem lecture, I'm explaining it to the one group, and like I'm explaining it to like one guy and 2 girls, and I don't think the other girl was actually paying attention. But like the guy, he's only half paying attention because he's already done it. He's just kind of listening to see if like how I did it was similar to how he did it. And like the one girl, she's like being all nice and being like, okay, yeah. And then like this other chick, she's just like losing her shit. And I'm like trying to stay calm and not laugh at her, but she's like really freaking out and like just swearing up a storm and yelling, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh my god, this is just too hilarious. She ended up like pretty much quitting on the thing and just saying like, fuck it, I'll hand in this like piece of shit thing. And I'm just laughing my ass off like after she left, because I mean it was fucking funny. Like it was one lab, and all I was telling her is, you need a discussion, not just, here's the answer to question 1, here's the answer to question 2. But whatever. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll end up having a video next week. It's looking like it probably won't come out until towards the end of the weekend, because it's looking like next weekend I'm going to have quite a bit of stuff to go on. Like, I'll show you guys. There's like the list of crap I have to do this week. So I'm going to be a little busy if I'm on schedule. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next week.